Hi guys, welcome back to my channel. So today's video is all about my most loved and used luxury of 2020. I always try and do one of these roundup videos at the end of every year. This year I decided not to focus in on any of my kind of non-favorites. I usually include my kind of best and my worst. I didn't really feel like it was fair to do that this year just because so many of the items that I didn't end up using much wasn't because I didn't like them, it was just because 2020 was kind of a crazy year. So instead I'm focusing in on the items which I really just loved so much, either because I did get a lot of use out of them in spite of everything happening, or otherwise I maybe didn't use them that much, but when I did, I absolutely loved them. So I hope you guys enjoy this and let's get started. So first up is my Louis Vuitton Empreinte backpack, and I have been loving this bag so much. I haven't really talked about it too much on YouTube since I got it. That wasn't intentional. I've actually filmed 2 different segments in 2 different videos on this bag, but something always seems to happen to the footage. It's either out of focus, one time it got corrupted, it just feels like it's kind of cursed, but I have really been enjoying it a lot. One of the things which I mentioned in the videos where it didn't actually work out was the fact that I have needed to get a bag liner. So as you can see, I do have a bag liner inside, and that was to correct a little sagging issue that I had right here. So that is something to keep in mind. I don't know if I got like a funky version of the bag, but without the bag liner, I did find that it was sagging quite badly, even after just a little bit of usage. So I did get the bag liner, and that does seem to have fixed the problem entirely. And since I got the bag liner, it's just been kind of plain sailing. I've been loving it so much. It's a great size as well, fits an absolute ton, and I did get some questions on the weight of this bag, and I don't particularly find it heavy, but if you filled it completely full because it is so large, I imagine you would find it heavy because items obviously weigh something. I don't tend to fill it completely full. It more than fits in my essentials, and there's still plenty of room, so it is really easy to find your belongings if you don't kind of cram it full. And I just think it's so great. It's been my first entry into kind of luxe backpacks. I'm not typically a backpack girl, but I have really been enjoying this one so much. I love the pale color combination. The detailing on it is beautiful, and I just absolutely love Empreinte. So far so good. If you do want to see an in-depth video on this bag or any of the items that I'm featuring today, let me know in the comment section. But yeah, so far I've really been enjoying it. Definitely a favorite for me for 2020. Next up is my Louis Vuitton wallet, and this is the only SLG I'm featuring in this video. I expanded the categories to include both SLGs and bags, but this was the only one where I was like, oh my goodness, I love it. It's just like the best thing. And I've been so happy with it. I haven't had it that long. I feel like it's maybe been like 5 months now, but it's really what I've been using most of the time. I have switched out into smaller card holders when I've needed a smaller option for a mini bag, but when I am using a larger bag, this is all that I use. I love the functionality. It's very durable. I've always loved the Empreinte leather. I do have my smaller wallet here, which is still going strong, so I knew I was a fan of the leather type. You have the pocket on the back there, and then you have card slots on the front. You have card slots galore. There are seriously so many, of some on the back there, some on the front. You have pockets everywhere. You have a zip compartment. There is just so much storage space, really well laid out. It's not too heavy, fairly slimline considering. And for me, this just ticks all the boxes. I've been loving it so much. I think it looks fantastic as well, and I just couldn't be happier with my purchase. So definitely a favorite for me for 2020. I imagine it's gonna be a favorite for 2021 as well. I know these are big purchases, especially the leather options in the longer style, but for me, it's 100% been worth the money. I've just been so thrilled to bits with that. Next up is my Prada Re-Edition, and this is another one which I feel like I haven't talked about as much as I should, but I've really been enjoying it. And for me, this was a bit more of a risky purchase just because it's not something that I would typically go for. I don't think I had too much nylon. I have kind of some more travel styles, but not a specific everyday bag in nylon before this one. And it's just more of a kind of trendy out there style than I would perhaps usually go for. But I've been loving it. I think it's so great. It's so comfortable to wear, which is really kind of the key for me. If something is super functional and super comfortable and I like the look, it's just one of those items which I'm going to reach for again and again, and this is absolutely that. It's extremely lightweight because it is nylon, so it genuinely feels like you're wearing nothing at all. It can fit a decent amount. It's not loads, but certainly all my essentials. You know, I've been paring back quite a lot, so I just fit inside my card holder, some hand sanitizer, my phone, and usually that's it. You know, I don't even really need to carry lip products anymore because of face masks, so you know, it is suitable for what I need. And I just think it's great. You know, I love the fact that it's convertible as well. I haven't really been using it too much for evening outings for obvious reasons, but when, you know, things do get back to normal, I anticipate just using it as an evening bag more. So far, I've really mostly been using it as a crossbody. One tiny niggle is I don't find it stays very well just on my shoulders, so I do find that I need to wear it crossbody in order for it to kind of really be comfortable and just me not have to think about it. But honestly, that's just like the tiniest thing, and I've just been really enjoying it. So definitely very happy with it. It's been a great surprise and I've been loving it so far. Next up is my Senreve Aria, and I've just absolutely been obsessed with this bag ever since I got it. It is so cute. I'm not a stranger to the Aria style. I already have one in the Merlot color and I love that one, but this one has kind of taken my love to the next level. I love the color, and I don't know why I didn't discover this color before now. I do feel like, I know there weren't that many kind of fashion trends in 2020, but if there was, I feel like it was all about the neutral colors, a lot of really pretty warm tones, and this is the most perfect warm brown tone. It is so beautiful. It's not too dark, it's not too light, really versatile, goes with everything, and I just adore it. You can obviously wear it as a belt bag. I have really only worn this as a clutch or a crossbody, and it's done great. And particularly last year when it was pretty much for me just small crossbodies, you know, that I wouldn't have to freak out about with hand sanitizer, this was just perfect. It was still really cute, really chic. I love the look of it, and it was just such an easy breezy one to wear. So huge fan. I love the color so much. The lining is super pretty as well. I do love the detail on these bags, and it was just exactly what I need. So definitely one of my best purchases for 2020. I've just been obsessed with this bag. Next up is my Chanel Jumbo, and I've got to say this is a little bit more of an honorary mention. I did not get to use this bag nearly as much as I wanted to. I think I used it a total of 2 times. That said, the 2 times that I did use it, I absolutely loved it. It is genuinely one of those bags which I actively look forward to using. It is just so beautiful and I love it just as much as I did when I first got it. I didn't use a whole ton of Chanel in general in 2020. It just wasn't that kind of year. You know, most of my trips out were to the grocery store, and I'm not really carrying a Chanel Classic flap to the grocery store. So I didn't really use my Chanel bags at all in 2020. I'm hoping that's going to change this year, but I did use this a couple of times, and as I said, I absolutely loved it every time I did. So definitely a little bit more of an honorary one, but I still adore this bag and it just thrills me every time I do get to use it. So fingers crossed for a better 2021, but nonetheless, I did still absolutely love this bag. Now for a slightly more practical one that did get a ton of use, and it is my Louis Vuitton Neverfull in the size. This has been a go-to for me. I swapped out of my Damier Azur one a few months ago. It really needed a rest. It's definitely looking a little bit worse where I've used that bag to death, and this one has just made a terrific replacement. It is everything that everyone says, really. You know, it's just as durable and easy to wear as people say. I've really been loving it. Mine is with the rose ballerine lining. I'm gonna give you a quick peek inside. It's extremely messy. It is my daily bag, but very messy, full of receipts and paperwork and things like that, but it's been so great. I love the fact that I don't have to worry about the rain. I was a bit concerned about how comfortable I would find the straps. I have heard that they can be a little bit more uncomfortable because they're a bit stiffer. I haven't found that to be the case at all. I'm not carrying a laptop to work anymore, obviously, but I still am not that great at kind of not filling up a tote bag. So I also generally carry way more than I need to, but I've not had any issues with it being uncomfortable. It really is a great bag to just grab and go. don't have to worry about it, and it's just wonderful. So yeah, very, very happy with my purchase. Glad I got a lot more use out of this one than I did my kind of monogram one, which I did sell on, but this one has just been so great and definitely one of my most used of 2020. Next up is my Givenchy Antigona in the Mock Croc, and sadly this is in the same category as my Chanel Jumbo of bags, which I absolutely loved, but I didn't get to use as much as I wanted to. So this is definitely more in the most loved category rather than the most used, but the few times I did get to wear it, I absolutely loved it. The Givenchy Mock Croc just doesn't seem to get old for me. I love the combination. I particularly love this color as well. It is in the sand color, and it is the loveliest shade of light grey, and I just can't get enough. I would still say that my preference still slightly edges towards the small black one, just for practicality. It is a more practical size and the opening isn't wide, so you know, the bigger the bag, the bigger the opening. It does make a difference. Nonetheless, even though it's definitely not a flaw-free bag, I just love it. I think the look is adorable. It's such a special looking bag, and I just think it's gorgeous. So definitely a most loved. Hopefully it will be a most used for 2021, and yeah, I just think it's gorgeous. And then finally, I have two bags which I'm only going to talk about briefly because I feel like I go on about both these bags a lot, and I'm sure you're sick to death of hearing about them, but I had to include them in my favourites. First up, my Saint Laurent Small Lulu. I think it was actually last year that I discovered this size, and it feels like ages ago, and I feel like I've now always had this bag in my collection, but I don't think that's been the case. I think it was literally last year. For me, the small size is the perfect size. I have tried them all, I think, at this point, and this is just my complete favorite. It's such a great shoulder bag style. It fits a decent amount, you know, everything that you need, and it's good for both day and night, which is why I love it so much. You know, the versatility is fantastic. I think it looks like a very classic bag, and it's just one of those bags which I constantly gravitate towards because it is so functional and versatile. So huge fan of this. I have a few of them now and absolutely no regrets. I just think they are new classics and just so, so lovely. And then finally, the last bag that I wanted to mention was my Mulberry Mini Alexa. Again, not going to go on about this bag too much. I've spoken about it a lot recently, but I absolutely love it so far. This one is more of a newer purchase, but in the time that I've had it, I have used it a ton. It's been one of my go-tos, and I just love using it. You know, it does have a few niggles I mentioned in my first impressions video, which I'll link below if you missed it and wanted a more kind of in-depth overview of this bag, but the closure isn't ideal. That said, it is very roomy for a mini bag, and I'm not gonna lie, I just love the look of it. It is a complete throwback for me. I missed out on the Alexa the first time round, and I'm just so thrilled that they brought it back. So huge fan of this. I anticipate using this a lot more this year. Hopefully I'll be able to use it more in a kind of dressy capacity as well. I've mostly used it just worn very, very casually, and I think it works both ways. And so far I have just been loving it so much. So that is it for this video, guys. I hope you enjoyed it. Let me know below what your most loved and used luxury, if you even used luxury last year, was. I would love to hear about it. I will leave links to everything I featured as well. If you have any questions, then leave me a comment. And as always, thank you so much for watching. I will see you in my next one. Bye, guys.